President. And let me first say a big, warm, and very much heartfelt thank you to Barbara and the Polish Parliament and the Polish delegation. Thank you very much, Barbara, for hosting us here. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Marcin, Natalia, Carolina, all those who have worked on this session. You have delivered in no time, let's say. We asked you to do this in very, very short deadline. Gustavo and my colleagues in the conference team, they know that when we organize these meetings, we spend maybe a year or two going to visit a country, doing some preparatory visits. Here you were asked to organize this and you delivered in a very, very short time. So thank you very much to you, Barbara, to the Speaker of to the Marshal of the Sejm, to the Marshal of the Senate, to all the authorities in Poland for the great work that you've done. I would like to extend also the thank you to Poland for the work that the chairman in office has done this year. Poland has held the chairmanship of the organization in a very difficult year. We will get to that. But also, Barbara, you have helped us also visit the areas of Poland which were receiving hubs for Ukrainian refugees in March. We would like to thank you also for that. I think the Polish people have shown an incredible solidarity and incredible capacity to go beyond, let's say, their own skin to help the incoming refugees from Ukraine. And for that, I think all of this room and everyone in this room is very appreciative of the work that Poland has done. Thank you, Barbara. Now, let me say that it's great that this event takes place in person. The alternative would have been that we would have had an online meeting. And I think in this incredible, difficult geopolitical situation that we are living in Europe, I think it was very important parliamentarians could meet in person, could talk to each other, could send strong messages. I have not been following very much the debates in the room because I was also busy with preparations also of what we are about to do this afternoon in the Standing Committee, but I've been informed that there's been very heated debates, sometimes on the issues that were in the agenda, but also, and it's inevitable, of course, comments and discussions also on the general political situation that we are living in Europe. Let me say that I am extremely proud of this assembly. I'm extremely proud of the fact that in this assembly there's always been unity, and I use this word very carefully, but there has always been unity on condemning the Russian Federation for its acts in Ukraine. There's always been unity, unanimous support for Ukraine. There's never been any divisions in this assembly. From 2014, when many other delegations, many other international bodies were still wavering. This assembly from 2014 has called a spade, has said there are clear, gross, uncorrected violations of the Helsinki Final Act. This was said in Baku in 2014, and it was repeated in Birmingham. So this assembly has had an impeccable track record in supporting Ukraine, in condemning Russia, and in calling who is the aggressor and who is the victim. Madam President, since 24th of February in Vienna, you've had a strong leadership of this assembly. You spoke at every possible fora defending the positions of this assembly. There is no doubt in this assembly where we stand, and I know that there's been a lot of discussion also in this room. There will be a lot in the next two meetings that we are about to undertake. Some of you, the heads of delegations, will participate in the Standing Committee where we are discussing some more procedural aspects. But I would like to make sure that the message that comes out from this room, from the Polish Sejm, is that this assembly has no doubts where we are when it comes to calling who is the aggressor and who is the victim and who we give our support to. And this is your work, your words in public documents, in the declarations that you've made in Baku and since the annual session in Baku in 2014 to the one leading to 2022 in Birmingham. And so for this, I am very proud of being in this assembly because I very much respect the courage, the work that you've had. I hope that the discussions we will have in the afternoon in the Standing Committee will not overshadow this clear message that should come out of this, because there's been a trend, to say, okay, well, if the OSCE cannot, because of some procedural and some legal aspects of its own rules of procedure, cannot pass some resolution, then what's the point, or is it really this assembly, has it failed in its task? No, the assembly has not failed in its task. This is a political body, and the message that this political body has passed on in every possible fora has been unequivocal, and I think this should be the message that comes out of this meeting at the conclusion of this meeting. The next two meetings, as I said, are the Standing Committee this afternoon, where we will discuss also our internal issues, budget, report of the Secretary General, the report of the President, and indeed also an issue of a possible change of our rules of procedure. And then tomorrow we will have a bureau. And I think the bureau comes at a very, very timely moment, because for the first time tomorrow we will do a different type of bureau. The President has presented a vision paper, an idea for where the Assembly should go in the next year. And tomorrow will be a little reflection of first the elected leadership, let's say, of this Assembly, to think a little bit of who we are as an Assembly, what we do. Should we have 3 sessions every year? Should we have 2 sessions? Should we have an annual session of 5 days, 4 days? Should we vote on the first day rather than the last day? You remember what happened in Birmingham with the early vote, etc., etc. So we will be reflecting a little bit on mandates of vice presidents, all the things that are in the Assembly, voting procedures, how we amend the rules of procedure. Should there be consensus for some things? Should there be some aspects in our rules that when a country violates every single possible article of the Helsinki Decalogue, there should be some sanctions? So all of these things will be reflected upon tomorrow in the Bureau meeting. And the Bureau, which will be kind of in a brainstorming session, let's say, will then inform a process that will start, which is a process of reform of our rules of procedure. And hopefully, in the coming months, or hopefully in the coming year, we will have new rules of procedure, which will allow our Assembly to be even more modern, and will be able, also with our tools, the legal tools, to accompany what already exists, which is a great political engagement and great political will. I've seen the 2 biggest election observation missions in Bosnia, Herzegovina and the United States, with most of you present there. So it shows your commitment to this organization, your commitment to the values of this organization, and for this I would like to commend. 2 more points. One, I would like to thank the director of the ODIHR, Matteo Mecacci, who also invites us after this closing session to a reception at the ODIHR. We work very well with the ODIHR, as you know. Matteo Mecacci was a member of our assembly. He was the head of the 3rd committee, I think. And it's very nice to have him at the ODIHR, since he has become a director of the ODIHR, but also with Michael Link before. Our relations with the ODIHR are even stronger. We work very well in many different aspects, not only on election observation, but on democratization, many issues. So, Matteo, thank you very much for participating here today, and thank you for inviting us to the reception, which will take place after this event. And the last point is on the staff of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. I should have said this more in the Standing Committee, but I mean, as we have more members here, I would like to express it also here. I am the Secretary General of this organization. My responsibility is to manage the staff and to ensure that the finances are managed well. I mean, this is mostly what I respond to, and of course, making sure that the rules are adhered to and respected. But all of you have interacted with the staff of this Parliamentary Assembly. You know, in all areas where we operate, be it management of committees, on election observation, working with the President, working with different special representatives. Our staff is really doing an incredible professional work, but not only professional, also putting their heart in going beyond, let's say, they're doing the extra mile to ensure that you are properly served and properly assisted when you need. So thank you very much also to my colleagues, and with this I conclude, Madam President.